right, everybody. Welcome to the show, Tennessee WildCast, TWRA's weekly podcast. Good to have you here. We hope you're going to have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving and beyond. Happy weekend, too. Jason Harmon. I'm Doug Markham. Introduce our guest in just a minute. Todd's in here helping us out.
Yeah.
Do a little technical work because we need it today.
Yeah, we got a lot of computers on the table today.
We do, and I hope y'all know how to work them.
Yeah.
I'll just try to look at them, okay?
You just sit back and watch.
I'll just watch. Just look good watching, right?
I don't know if you look good, but
all right. Look, we're in full season. Everything is underway. Just about that can be, except for waterfowl.
Yep.
And that's going to start in a few days, but just for a couple days. If you're watching this early in the week, it starts the weekend. Have a couple days, and this is just in Middle Tennessee. We're not. Let me back up and say that differently. This is statewide, not counting Reelfoot. So really, it's almost all the state except for that little tiny zone. They had their opening 2 days a couple weeks back, and then December 3rd it opens everywhere and goes well into January. So once we get that open, you got the gun hunters out there, the conventional gun hunters out there having a good time.
Yep, it's
hunting bucks.
I want to try to get out there and get
and
me
doe.
one. Yeah,
hunting everything.
Unit L, you can kill 3 does a day.
I mean, you look at get the guide if you hadn't got it yet, and we're going to help you with some good information today to help you find places and check-in station. Now we got all kinds of great stuff. It's going to be one of kind of those little techno shows, but they're very good for you if you come on our website a lot. What?
Techno shows.
Whatever. That's all I can
I like that.
Anyway,
I should have had some techno music.
It's not too late. It's time to run and get us some techno music. Anyway, this is a show where if you get in there and you dig around on our website and you say, I don't know how to do this, but it looks like it's good information. We got the person today that's going to tell you how to do it and help you along. But we got a lot of hunting going on. We got small game seasons underway. We didn't mention Wilson snipe, because everybody likes to go Wilson snipe hunting.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Anyway, well, we got Wilson snipe going, and then we got quail, and we got rabbit, and we got deer going. And always remember, if you're new to Tennessee, we got the conventional gun season underway. But if you want to go hunt with a muzzle loader, you can, which Jason probably will still do it. If you want to go hunt with archery, you still can. As long as it's a little more primitive than what season's open, you can go use it, okay?
Right.
So make sure you got the right permits if you're not a sportsman's license holder and all that stuff. And you can go on our website and learn all about licenses, too. With our new vendor going out there, there's going to be packages that are sold and easy. You duck hunters, you don't have to think about it anymore. Go out there and buy you a package.
Makes it so easy. And then checking it in is real easy, too, online or on the phone.
Yeah, don't forget that phone. And last week we had Dale Grandstaff on here, and you did a WildCast Extra with him. Yeah. And the one thing he wanted to talk about for sure with that is you can check in your buddy on your phone. If you got somebody that's not as savvy as you are, not techno savvy as you are, if you got that kind of person, then help them out. You can check them out on your phone as long as they use their ID.
Yeah, just log in for them on your phone and check their deer in, or
at home,
wherever.
And it's real easy to do, and get your information back from that. Let us know that you check that deer in, and we'll have a record of it and help us keep account of the deer population in Tennessee and the deer harvest through methods like that.
And don't forget to watch the show we had last week.
Oh, it's a terrific show. All of them are, though, right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
But go back if you haven't seen it yet. Dale Grandstaff's on there. He's talking about the potential world record buck, Stephen Tucker.
Tucker buck.
And we're going to call the Tucker buck. We're going to call Stephen soon because we have his telephone number now. And we're going to give him a call. And we're going to do an interview with him for you and everybody to see him.
Yeah, we'll do maybe an extra.
A good extra, put it out on the Facebook page. Yeah, keep an eye on our Facebook. It's rolling. We got a lot of input from across the state on our Facebook right now. All the regions are sending information out there. And if you want to know what's going on in East Tennessee, West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, the Plateau, every bit of it's out there. And they're really putting a lot of great stuff out on the Facebook page.
Yep.
You got anything else?
I don't believe so.
And then let's introduce our guest.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. Here we go. Lynn Barrett is our guest today. Lynn is an analyst, a GIS, Geographic Information Analyst, and she works downstairs. And but what she sees is often from above, right?
I look at things from a unique perspective every day, yes.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And she's talking about computers. Her office is laid out with them now. It feels like you're going in somewhere at NASA when you go in her place. She's got so many things spread out. And she's always helpful. Lynn is extremely helpful with everybody here who aren't as big a geek as you are, Lynn.
I don't know if I'm the biggest geek in the agency, but I'm close. Yeah.
You're a good geek, and you're smart, and you do a lot of good stuff for everybody. And what we're going to do today, Lynn, is let you help us explain to them how to use our website when they want to find maps. And tell us what a GIS person does just in general first.
Well, a GIS person uses computers and the specialized software to create maps and to do habitat analysis for our biologists, for our anglers, our hunters. If it's wildlife related, then and has a place, and honestly, everything has a place. So actually, I touch a little bit of everything.
GIS is important to agencies, but you are a behind-the-scenes support person.
I am a support person for everything that happens out on the field.
Extremely important. A lot of folks rely on what you're doing. But Geographic Information System, how long has Tennessee had it? Are we ahead of other state or federal agencies with GIS, or is it commonplace today?
Well, it's fairly commonplace today, but our first GIS was 78.
Wow.
And we were the first state GIS. MTSU and TWRA were in a bidding war for a contract with NASA. And
told you.
MTSU won the bidding war, but Cliff Whitehead said, oh, well, no worries. He started a GIS anyway.
Oh, he did? Cliff Whitehead did. Okay.
Cliff Whitehead brought
I thought
GIS.
you were going to say Bill Turner, who was here for a
No, Cliff Whitehead brought GIS to the state of Tennessee. Lorinda Hooper was one of our first GIS technicians. Also, retired assistant director Steve Patrick was a GIS junkie back in the days.
You know, I don't think I knew that.
Yes.
I should have known that because he was always pretty computer savvy before everybody else was.
And Ken Arney that went to Department of Ag Forestry, he was another GIS person here at the time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's got a long history.
So we've been ahead of
the curve for a long time.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So when you do geographic information, are you using satellites to do your work, or how do you?
Well, a lot of that information, yes, we have satellite imagery, as it were. It's orthorectified, so it's aerial imagery that's been tied to the Earth. So it's not just dumb imagery; it actually knows where it belongs on the Earth. And I use a lot of that to find our boundaries and things, because, you can look at obviously the water boundaries and things like that, but then you can even see fence lines and neat little things like that to help us find our boundaries and stuff. And we know where our boundaries are supposed to be on the ground, and so our officers or our managers will look at it and say, hey, this is where it needs to be, and we'll fudge it in there. And we try to take the survey and give you that information, but also our managers are out there on the ground. They're marking boundaries. They know where they're allowing people to hunt. They know that there's a landowner next door that's got little kids and you're going to get too close to his house, and so he's got something, or they know that there's a boat ramp, and so they set up those safety zones and things. And so our managers are the ones that help us put a lot of this information into our GIS. They sit down with us and go through and say, no, they don't need to be there. Yes, that's a good place. No, that's not a good place. Yeah, this is where you can park. This is your entrance. And so we rely on our managers for a lot of this information. And our check station information, I relied on our officers last year to get us all of that information. So,
check station, Dove information, Dove fields, all that stuff.
All of that.
Yeah.
So I rely on our field staff to relay to us what's out there and where to put it and where it's at. And then I get it all put together into a map and share it out. Our trout stocking, again, we're relying on our field people.
Those maps that are out there.
Yeah, our fish attractor maps that we're going to be putting out. That's all the reservoir crews are out there working on marking all their fish attractors.
Your transects or your GPS stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get a lot of questions about maps. Printable, can you send me a map anymore? We don't do paper maps anymore.
We don't do paper maps, not color paper maps. We will have black and white maps available at the regional offices. Those are still available. They're not going away for those who just really want that little black and white paper map.
Okay.
But the problem with a paper map is that the day that we printed it, it was obsolete.
Yeah.
Because boundaries change, information changes, and we don't always get those color maps updated because we print several thousand at a time. We're not color maps, but black and white maps. We print several thousand at a time, and
I can remember stacks of them down in Region 2, stacks and stacks. And some
and
of
they're
them were
out of
8
date.
years old, but probably.
8 years old, and we've added property since then, or we've added a safety zone, or we've had to do something different. Maybe we made a trade agreement, like if it's Percy Priest, might have made a trade agreement with Town of Smyrna to get Sharp Springs Natural Area over there. And so that no longer is huntable, but it's still showing up on the map.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from this is, again, if you're savvy with a computer, or most of us are now computer users, or even
or if you're techno,
smartphone techno. Yep, if you're a techno guy, Then you can go in and look at these updated color maps. Can you run those out on your printer?
You can print these. The latest and greatest information is available at your fingertips 24/7, and you can print it.
Okay, so that's the advantage there.
Yes.
And so there's not any given week where you might not be down there adjusting a board or somewhere.
I may be adjusting it, but you won't know that I'm adjusting it. You'll just open the map up and you'll say, oh, they've done this, or oh, they've done that. And
okay.
if you really know your area, you'll know something's changed.
It's probably good to go back to the map before you go in the woods. Even if you printed it, make sure you go back and just
always
do a
go back
double
and take a double check on it. Yeah, right before you go to the woods, even though you've printed something out, it's really easy to. And here's the neat thing. All of this stuff works on your iPhone or your Droid phone. So when you're in the woods, you can have it open. And if you have cell service, you'll be able to open it up, see your blinking blue dot that shows where you're at on the management area.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right, well, let's start showing them some stuff. Let's go to the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency website, tnwildlife.org, Lynn, and show us from the menu down how to get to, what are we going to talk about first, the hunt map?
Let's talk about the hunt map because we are in the middle of hunt season. So let's really talk about the hunt map,
subject.
and then we'll go into the check stations for just a minute, which I might get around to adding to the hunt map. So just don't hold me to that. It's a work in progress.
You gotta get there.
But you just scroll down the page, and if you see you've got this maps link.
Looks like you got a pop up there. Let's pull it off the bottom of the corner of the screen there.
Yeah, are we advertising? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So you go to the maps. You can click this, and it will take you to our maps page that shows you all of our maps, okay? But you can click this little link right here, and that will jump you out straight to our brand new, just published last night version of our hunt map. I mean, I worked on this till 6:30 last night.
All right, so we're in mid-November, in case you're watching this a few weeks from now, whatever, or next year or whatever, because we keep them out there. So you've put a lot of time into this map.
I've put a lot of time into this.
And there will be more years ahead.
And here's the thing that I always say about all of our maps. Everything we have in the GIS and that we publish is better than it used to be. But it's not as good as it's going to be because the technology changes. And we try to stay up with the technology and keep up with everything.
That sounds like song lyrics.
Yeah. Did you and Tracy Porter come up with that?
No, I came up with that.
Okay, that's yours.
Yeah,
all right.
That's mine.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing you'll see is over here on the left-hand side, you've got the legend that tells you special events. Now, those are our properties like Buffalo Ridge or Holly Fork, where you have youth hunts and muzzleloader hunts for BOW and Wounded Warrior events and things like that. That's special events property that we own. Safety zones, we all pretty much know what those are. Private property, sometimes our WMAs have in-holdings, and we want to make sure people know that that's a piece of private property and to stay off of that. And they're marked on the ground.
When you say in-holdings, are you saying an actual piece of property within a larger WMA?
There's an actual piece of property in the middle of the WMA that we don't own.
Okay.
There's a lot of those on Catoosa. There's some of those on Yanali, North Cherokee, South Cherokee. There's tons of those.
I could see that.
They're everywhere.
A place like Yanali in Middle Tennessee is really segments around the Duck River. So there's a lot of
little in-between spaces.
All right.
And we want to make sure people know about the private property. Now, we don't have every single tract that we have as an in-holding marked as private property, but there are some where we've had some problems in the past, and we want to make sure people are very aware. The other thing I want to make you aware of, too, is always look for the signs on the ground. When you're close to the edge of the property, you need to be looking for the signs on the ground because those boundaries are marked by the managers, and those are the ones you have to go by. If you want to keep from getting a citation for being on the wrong side of the line, make sure you're watching what's posted on the ground, not what's on my map.
Okay.
I mean, I try to make these accurate, but
yeah.
There are places where we still don't have everything finalized. I need to get you to look at the signs on the ground when you go out there.
Okay.
And then the green is the hunting is allowed. And then you have region boundaries. And the region boundaries mark our regions 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Which is important when you're looking in a guide or
in your hunting guide.
You want to understand what it is.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So let's just zoom in, for example, on Catoosa.
Okay.
And all I'm doing is just using my mouse to wheel in. And when I wheeled in one time, and you can also hit this little plus box over here, and I can close this legend and get it out of the way for a minute. So you can hit the little plus box, and that will zoom in, and then you just click and drag to pan the map around. And so here's Catoosa. The red stars are the dove fields that are on Catoosa. The orange-looking squares, which they're kind of coming in red-looking on Jason's TV screen over there.
But on the computer, they're more orange.
But on the computer, they are orange.
All right.
Those are entrance points that have been provided to us by the area managers. We have most of them out there. There's a few that we still don't have some information on, but that's most of them. When you click, just left mouse click on Catoosa, you'll see Catoosa WMA comes up, tells you it's hunting is allowed. You can click on general WMA information, and it'll take you to a page that talks about general regulations for hunting on wildlife management areas. Or you can click on specific WMA information, and it will take you to the page in the hunt guide that is for Catoosa.
Cool deal. Yeah.
And because Catoosa is such a large property, it scrolls across 2 pages, so there's 2 pages for Catoosa. Other WMAs might only be 1 page. If you were to click on one of these entrances, well, it's picking up Catoosa also.
Okay.
All right. And so, see, I've got this little arrow at the top, and I've got 2 of 3, so I'm just clicking across. And so this one is the entrance. It's got the lat long. It tells you that the entrance name is Hebertsburg. And it's a campground and gate there. If I click Google directions, it will pop out, and it will say that I'm coming from Nashville to there, and it will give me Google directions, how to get there.
That is great, Lynn.
Yeah.
Putting it together now.
Yeah.
All right.
So I can tell you exactly how to get there using that, knowing which entrance you want to go to.
That's Jason's understandable there.
You can't get lost, Doug.
Well, yeah.
Between this and the GPS in your truck, you should be all right.
If you want to search for a particular WMA, say you're wanting to look for Yanali, you just click in this little search box up here, and I start typing YNA, and there's Yanali, and I'll click it, and the map will take me to it.
Oh, take it right there from the search box.
Right there from the search box.
Okay.
If I want to look for property around Knoxville, I can type Knox, and there will be Knoxville, Tennessee. And so you can see which property is available in Knoxville. The base map, let's talk just a brief minute. So I've talked about what I put on the map, but there's some information that you need to know that's going on in the background. This base map that you see back here is a streets base map that was provided by Esri. That's the maker of our software, Environmental Systems Research Institute.
Okay.
I think that's their name. Esri, ESRI. And so when you zoom in, you can see the level of detail for your streets. Oh, wait. What's this? We have imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I see a deer.
I added a layer. I added a layer to our map that is the imagery layer so that you don't have to know. Let me zoom back out to Knoxville. So that you don't have to know how to switch base maps. The easy thing for you is if you're wanting to hunt on forks of the river, and so you've looked at it at this view and you kind of know which streets are going to get you. McClure Lane will get you to that entrance. Well, now you want to know, what does it look like on the ground? Where are the fields at? Hey, there's a dove field. So now you can zoom in and the imagery is there for you.
Cool.
Okay? But let's say for one thing, maybe you want this green shading to go away.
I was just about to ask that.
That I figured you were. So this layers list, this little button at the bottom right here, if you click that, you have a list of layers that are on the map. If I turn off hunting allowed, that shows the imagery without that green overshading. Okay? Turn hunting allowed back on. Now,
Is there still a boundary line around that?
No, there's not a boundary line. Once you turn the shading off, the boundary line goes away.
Okay.
So if you want to see where the boundary is, you got to have the shading on to see that. You see this thing called world imagery? If I uncheck that box, the imagery goes away. I'm back to seeing my base map again, my street views map. But let's say I want to see topo imagery. I can click this little base map gallery button, and I can grab USA topos. And I'm too zoomed in for those to show. I'll have to zoom out just a little bit. They do have a zoom level. So now I have topo background information. So if you're hunting in Catoosa and you want to know how hilly it is, or if you're at North Cumberland, this is a great thing to know.
That's great. So you know not to go there and kill a deer because you got to drag it up and down
up and down the hill. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can also turn on the imagery from this base map switcher as well.
Okay.
But you also have the imagery available to you here. But I just was trying to save folks from having to make that base map change all the time. I figured
Great stuff, Lynn.
streets was the place where you want to be most of the time, and then you get to a certain zoom level and you want to be able to see imagery. So that's why I did this.
So those 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen are really important because you can change the different things you want to see on the map, and you can change the map itself.
Right. And then this legend box, this little legend button brings the legend back up. So if you want to see what's going on out there, you can do that.
So those
Remind yourself of what
Right.
what your icons are.
Right.
those are
That's right.
critical. Those are critical buttons there.
Okay, now another button I have up here at the top right-hand side. You see this that says bookmark?
Yes.
Looks like a book. If I click on the Region 1 bookmark, and now I'm at Region 1.
Uh-huh.
If I click on the Region 4 bookmark, I'm in Region 4. If I'm going to hunt Catoosa and say I'm actually going to hunt this section of Catoosa, and this is my favorite little spot, and I always want to go back here, I can click bookmark. I can type in my Catoosa spot, hit the add button. It adds that page, that link. So now I click Region 4. I'm back out to Region 4. I click my Catoosa spot. I'm back into Catoosa. And the neat thing is, this saves to each individual's computer. It's saving a cookie to your computer so that every time you open your version of the map, your bookmarks will be in there. Jason, you'll have yours. Doug will have his.
His will be on the water, but that's okay.
Well,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Got one of those yet?
We're working on it. We're actually working on that.
I'd like to hear that fisherman. She's working on it.
So
We'll have her back on her to show it when we're there.
we're not leaving anybody out.
Okay.
The other thing that you can do, you have this measure tool. I want to show measure tool. It's very important to show measure.
Okay.
So if you want to measure an area, so let's get zoomed in to where we can see some fields. And so we want to know how big is this little field right here. Okay. We can click this little measure tool, and we just click. I'm just left mouse clicking is all I'm doing, and making a shape.
How much of this can be done on your phone? All of it?
All of it.
Okay.
Everything can be done on your phone.
Awesome.
3.16 acres.
Okay.
I can click on this measure tool right here and measure how far down the road something is.
How long a walk it is to that spot?
How long of a walk it is, 613 yards, okay? If you want to change your distance, instead of seeing it in yards, you want to see it in feet, you want to see it in miles, just change the drop down. The other thing that I want to show you, we were talking about all the wildlife management areas, but if you hunt on private property, you can also use this same map to look at all your private property. You can make your bookmarks on your private property. You can zoom in and see the imagery for your private property. You don't have to just use this for WMAs.
That's what I was thinking, because I've looked at other maps before, different county GIS maps and things, and this works for the whole state.
This works for the whole entire state. This does everything. But if you have your favorite little honey hole that you want to go hunt on, let's just go in here. Let's say you like to hunt on Anderson Pond for some reason, or maybe you own some private property around Anderson Pond. Maybe you know somebody that has some property and you can hunt, and you're going to be able to hunt back off in here in this corner. And maybe you don't have good cell service back here. And so you're going to print this as a map to take with you to the woods so you can kind of see things. But you want to know exactly where this spot is. Click this measure tool and this last little button over here, location. I'm going to use that to make a dot on the map. And so that little green little hashtag right there is this location right here. You can plug that into your GPS unit.
And walk yourself
yourself into it, into that spot from one of your recreational GPS units.
Awesome.
That
Okay.
is really great.
And if you need it in degrees, minutes, seconds, there you go. Okay? If you want to look at it on a topo map, like a regular 7.5 minute USGS topo. Let's talk about the print feature for just a minute.
Yeah, that's
We
important.
need to get to the print feature.
They are going to come out on 8.5 by 11.
Yes, they will come out on 8.5 by 11. So you will zoom in to the part you want to print. You can change the title. I defaulted it to TWRA WMAs, but I could call this one Anderson Pond. And I can change the format. This one looks like it needs to be a portrait format instead of a landscape. I can go into advanced settings if I need to and change things. I don't recommend it. I think everything is set just fine at default. When I click print, it's going to make it as a PDF for me.
Oh, that's nice. So it saves the PDF to your computer.
And you can save this PDF to your computer to have all the time.
Run it anytime.
And so you let this little thing churn and burn for just a minute. Hopefully it'll go fairly quick. And then once that's done, and so you obviously you could have a list of several prints in here. So you can make Anderson Pond. So when you click on Anderson Pond, here's what you get.
And that's going to run off
Nice.
And that print's 8.5 by 11. It tells you the date you printed it.
Technicolor.
Now, this world imagery, all these little doodads down here at the bottom, this is based on that imagery layer that's in there turned on right now. If you didn't have that imagery turned on, then that wouldn't be there. That's that base map imagery layer. But there's your map. It's got your scale bar on it.
Awesome.
And if you were in an area where you had duck blinds, you would see all your duck blind points. You could see your dovetail points. You could see your entrance points. Everything that's on the map would print.
Even and if you put you may have just said this and I may have just missed it, but you put your measurements on there, you'll see the measurements and stuff too. Can you do that?
I think you can do your measurements.
Cool.
Well, no, I'll take that back. No, you
Okay.
cannot do measurements.
But it's
Sorry.
good. It's good
Sorry.
to look at and then kind of know,
Yeah.
and then you can print it out.
Lynn, this is terrific. We only got, 3 or 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Do you want to? This is awesome, and we're going to keep it out there for people that can review it and review it again and review it again because it's going to help y'all out there a lot. Do you want to show them real quick the check station map?
Check stations.
Yeah.
The quick and easy way to get to check stations is under for hunters, check station locations. And when that comes up,
And while it is, remind everyone, we don't have as many check stations, physical check stations, as we used to have. Okay, so this is very important.
But look at that map; it's full.
Well, maybe we do.
we've got a lot, but not as
We
many
still
as
have
we
a
used
lot.
to have.
Yeah, we've lost about a quarter of them. So that's why sometimes it's important for you to still use your phone or your home computer or go to this map so that you don't have to drive 75 miles from one county to the other.
When you click on one of those check stations, it pops up the name of the store. It tells you the hours that it's open. It gives you their street address. It gives you their phone number, the latitude and longitude, and again, Google directions.
Okay.
So you can drive right to it.
And I got to add another caveat to that. Call them anyway if you're going
Call
to drive
anyway.
a long way because they may not be open. They may not open until later in the day or
Yeah,
earlier
we've
when you get
tried
there anyway.
The store hours information that I do have. Most of that came from the officers,
Okay.
but things change, and they may have had those hours last year, and this year their hours have changed, and we didn't know it.
Yeah, just that would
Right.
caution you that. What else, Lynn, on it?
That was it. Just Google directions, and you can print this. and
Updated as of when? When did you last update
this was
one?
last updated October 30th.
Okay, so it's current.
It's current as of right now, unless somebody calls me and says, "Hey, do something different."
I've gone out of business. We went
Yeah.
out of business anyway.
Yeah,
But
I try to stay up to
hopefully it
date
won't
with
happen.
everything. Yeah.
all right, Lynn, this is terrific stuff. In the minute or so left before the music starts, what else do you want to tell them?
I do want to say that we are working on stuff for, we have the stock trout sites out there. We are working on more stuff for that. We're working on fish attractors, bank fishing locations, kids fishing, free fishing day events, all the boating and fishing access sites that you can think of. That's coming.
Okay,
Just
and-
give us time.
And the
Moment
maps,
of Freedom blinds are out there.
Moment of Freedom blinds
Huh?
are out there, yes.
Okay. And of course, that's blinds for. I mean, that's places for folks that are
Wheelchair bound.
that you want to go to. And it's important enough. This work that Lynn's doing and Tracy's doing, all doing on GIS, that maps stay out on the homepage. Maps never leaves.
No, that's right.
It's out there. And if it did, there is some folks that would be in trouble.
Who's that? I don't know.
Well, some folks. Lynn, you did great.
Thank you.
Really awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn.
And your work is fantastic, and we appreciate everything you do for all the sportsmen of Tennessee and boating stuff out there eventually too. Or is it up there?
There's some out there. It's not great yet.
But it
It
will
still
be.
needs tweaking and working, and that's coming.
All right, Todd. Thanks for your techno help today.
Thank y'all for being in this show, the Techno Show, Tennessee WildCast. You can watch on TNWildcast.com, TNWildlife.org. We're out there everywhere. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes. You can do that as well and listen to it on your phone.
Watch some of our old. Watch all our old shows because there's some terrific stuff out there. And we'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thank y'all. Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.